Hi guys, welcome back, and if you're new on this channel, you're welcome. So in this video I'm just going to show you how to change your photo from this to this. So I'm going to show you how to retouch your photos like this. So for more videos like this, subscribe and smash that bell button so that you don't miss my next video. So yeah, we are in capture one. So this is the image straight out of the camera, and it was just a little bit underexposed, and I'm just going to fix that. So I'm going to go to exposure, and then I'll just push it up to 1.27, and then I'm going to drag down the highlights to negative 30, and then I'm going to drag down the blacks to negative 10, and I think I'll change the white balance to 500. Yeah, I think we're done. So we are in Photoshop now. So I'll zoom it in just a little bit, and this time we're just going to remove the blemishes from the face. I have a separate video for removing the blemishes. You can check it in the description. And yeah, let's do that. So I'll make a copy of this same layer, Ctrl J. Then I'll zoom it in just a little bit. I want to select the patch tool. I'm going to come on the tools here, and then I'll choose the patch tool. Then I'm going to zoom it in and in again. If I want to remove the pimple, this pimple right here, I'm going to select it, and then I'll drag this part to a cleaner part. Like this is clean, so I'm going to let go here. If I want to remove this pimple here, I'm going to select it like this, and then I will replace it with the clean part here, and then I'll let go. So I'll keep doing the same thing, keep doing the same process, and keep doing that. So it's keep on removing the blemishes. So I'm going to speed up this process just for the sake of the video. So I want to remove this vein here. So I'll make a new layer here, and then I'll select the healing brush. And then I'll make the brush just a little bit smaller. The sample here, I'll change it to current and below. I want to sample this part, odd, and then here. So in this one here, you can remove it. I'm going to odd, and then I'll sample this part here, and then sample here, and then I'll replace it with that. I think I'm okay with this. So now I'm going to remove these shoelaces here. So I use the shoelaces to hold the cards. So if you want to see how I shot these photos, you can check this video. I'll put it in the description. So I'm going to flattening the image. I'm going to Alt, Control, Shift and E. And the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to remove these shoelaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the rectangular marquee tool here on the tools, this one, and then I'm going to select this part right here, and then I'm going to copy this part, and then I'll drag it on the shoelaces here. Right click and then copy. And then I'll use the arrows on the keyboard to just move it to the other side. So I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit. Then I'm going to place Ctrl T. I'll rotate it just a little bit like this. And then using the arrows, move it down, and then I rotate it. I move it down. I'll move it up just a bit. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. It's the same process with the other cards. So I'll put this photo in the description. You can download it and edit it. I would love to see how you can go crazy with it. So now let's remove this other part of the shoelace. So I'm going to select this card. I'm going to use the pen tool. So I'll come here on the tools and then I'll choose the pen tool here. So I'm going to come on this layer. Then I'm going to make a selection. Let me zoom it in just a little bit. So I'm going to make a selection. I'm going to make a selection like this. I'm going to make a selection like this. Yeah. And then I'm going to go back to the pen tool, and then I'm going to right click and then curvature. In the middle here, I'm going to make a point and then I'll drag so that it can make a curve, because the cards, they have curves in the corner. So I want that. So I'm going to drag and then do it. Even on this corner, I'm going to make a point and then I'll drag it out like that. Even here, I'll put a point and then I'll drag it out like that. To right click, and then I'm going to make selection here, and then I'll use the radius of 0 and then okay. So then I'm going to go to rectangular mark tool here, right click on the card, and then I'm going to make a copy here. So I'm going to drag it on top. So what I've done here, I've just made a copy of this card and I'm going to rotate it because I want this other part of the card, this part here, to replace this card on top here. So I'm going to place Ctrl T on the keyboard and then I'm going to rotate it like that. And then I'll drag it down just a bit, and then let me just reduce the opacity so that I can see where the card is. Yeah. So I'm going to zoom it in just a bit. Then I'll reduce the opacity again. So then I'm going to drag it here so that it matches the other card. So I'm going to put it like somewhere here, and then I'm going to do okay. So I'm going to put the opacity back to 100, and then I'm going to add a layer mask here, and then I'll choose the brush tool. So I'll just place B on the keyboard. So I'm going to come back to the layer mask here, and then I'm going to place Ctrl I to invert the layer mask. It's going to hide the card, and then I'm going to set the foreground color to white so that if I paint on the card, it's going to show the copy card that we made like this. If I paint on the card and then showing the other card like this. So now I want to replace the other part of the shoelace. So I'm going to go to this layer. I'll choose the rectangular marquee tool again. I'll select these parts starting from here like this, and then I'm going to make a copy of this. Right click and then copy, to just place V on the keyboard so that it can take me to the move tool, and then I'll just move this here. Let me just put it on top of everything. So I'll drag it and then I'll put it on top here. So I'm going to do that like so, and then I'm going to make a layer mask for it, and then I'm going to invert it, Ctrl I, and then I'll choose the brush tool. I'll set the foreground color to white. So I'll just paint here on the shoelace here like so. Let's just zoom it out a bit. So the shoelace is gone. So this is how you remove the shoelaces from the cards. I'm not going to do all the cards. It's going to take me a lot of time. So you know how it's done. Let's skip this process. So the next thing that I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do the frequency separation. So the frequency separation is just a process of separating the texture from the colors, or the colors from the texture. Let me show you. So if you go in this folder, on top here we have the high frequency, which just means the texture, and then low frequency just means the color. So let me disable the low frequency so that you can see the texture, which is the high frequency here. So this is the high frequency, and then if I enable the low frequency, meaning the color frequency, and then I disable the high frequency, you are able to see just the colors. So let me enable the high frequency here. So we've now separated the texture from the colors. What we are going to do now, we are going to mix the colors. Let me disable the high frequency, the texture frequency. Now we can only see the low frequency, which is the color frequency, just showing us the colors of the image. Let me zoom it in so that you see. You've seen some colors, they don't just look okay, they look apart. So what we are going to do now, we are going to mix the colors so that they blend. I'm going to go on the brushes here. I'm going to use this mixer brush to mix the colors. So since we are mixing the colors, we are going to go on the low frequency, since the low frequency is the frequency that has colors. We're going to set our weight to 15, load to 30%, mix to 30%, flow to 20%, and then we are going to enable this icon. What we want is every time we paint on the photo, we want the brush to clean itself. So for the brush to do that, we are going to enable this icon right here, and then we are going to disable this one. So, and one thing that I'm going to show you is when you are mixing the colors, mix the colors according to where the colors are. If you can see here, there are dark colors here, so we are going to mix the dark colors just here. So we can't mix this brighter colors. We take these brighter colors and then we take them here. They are not going to, we can't mix like this. You mix the colors according to where the colors are. Now let's mix the colors. If we are mixing here, we have to mix the colors here. Like we mix the colors like that according to where the colors are. We mix these colors here, the brush just a little bit smaller, and we mix these colors, we mix them, so we mix all these colors right here, you mix them, mix these colors, you mix, let's keep on mixing. So let me show you, let me enable the high frequency, and let me show you the before and the after, the before and the after. So let's keep on mixing the colors. So mix the colors according to where the colors are. So we are mixing the black colors here, so let's mix here. Let's mix these colors here. Let's mix them here, right here. Let's mix them like so. Let's mix these colors like here. Let's mix these colors. Let's mix them. So these are before, these are after, these are before, these are after. So let's keep on mixing the colors. Let's keep on mixing the colors. The brush a little bit smaller. So let's keep on mixing the colors. So this is our before, this is our after, this is our before, this is our after. So let's keep on mixing. So this is our before, this is our after. So you know how it's done, you know how you're supposed to do it. So I'm going to speed up the process now. Before, so after. So now we are done mixing the colors. So the next thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the dodge and burn. So I'm going to add 2 dodge and burn layers. So I'm going to go to adjustments, and then I'm going to choose curves, and then in the middle of the curve here, I'm going to drag it up like so. So this adjustment we've just made, it's for highlights, the dodging part. So I'm going to make another adjustment. I'm going to go to adjustments, and then I'm going to select curves, and then this one is for the shadows. So in the middle here, I'll drag it down. I want it to be darker like this. Let's rename it to burn. This one is called, it's for dodge. We're going to name it dodge. So you can see the bright part, it's a dodge part, it's the part we're supposed to dodge, and then the black part, it's where we're supposed to burn. So we're going to put these adjustments into a group. So I'll select the one which is on top. I'm going to hold Control, and then I'll select the dodge adjustment. Holding Control, I'm going to press G to put them into a group. We're going to rename this same group to double click D and P, dodge and burn. So I'm going to go to the burn adjustment here, and then I'm going to select the layer mask, and then I'm going to hold Control I in the keyboard, Control plus I to invert the mask. Even this same one, I'm going to do the same, Control I to invert it, so that we hide the adjustments that we did. I'm going to make another adjustment that's going to help us know where we're supposed to dodge and where we're supposed to burn. So I'm going to go to adjustment, and then I'm going to select the black and white. So the reds, I'm going to drag them down like this, and then the yellows, I'm going to drag them up like this. So now the brighter part is the part where we're supposed to dodge, and then the darker part is the part which we're supposed to burn. So I'm going to go into dodge and burn folder. I'll select the dodge here, and then I'll choose the brush. I'll just press B on the keyboard. The flow, I'll put it to 2, and then I'll start burning. I'll start dodging, start dodging the brighter part. Let's see what we've done. So I'm going to disable the black and white. So this is the before, this is the after. So I'm going to enable the black and white, and then I'm going to choose the burn. Then I'm going to burn the shadows. Let's disable the black and white now. If I don't want this burn effect on a nose, like, I'm going to go to burn adjustment, and then I'm going to set the foreground color to black, and then I'm going to paint here. Just use the flow of 100%, then I'll remove it from there. It's before, so after. So I'll remove it from here. So I'm going to set the foreground color again back to white, and then the flow, I'll set it back to 2. I'm going to go to dodge, then I'll keep dodging. dodging. So I'll speed up the process again. So we're just dodging and burning. We burn the shadows, we dodge the highlights. So this is what we're doing. This is our before, this is our after. So I feel like the effect is too much, so I'm going to reduce the opacity of the dodge to 30%, and then I'll reduce even the opacity of the burn adjustment to what I feel is going to look natural. So this is our before, this is our after. Let's do it like that. So this is our before, this is our after. And then this is our before, this is our after. Let's go back, we do the dodge and burn. So I think we're done with the dodge and burn. The next thing that we are going to do, we're just going to whitening the eyes. I have the teeth and eye whitening action. You can download it in the description. So it's the one that I'm going to use. I'm going to go to actions, teeth and eye whitening. I'm going to play it. So I'm going to open the teeth and eye whitening folder. On this photo filter here, I'm going to select the layer mask, and then I'm going to select the brush. I'm going to place B on the keyboard, zoom it in a bit. I'm going to put the flow to 100%, and then I'm going to set the foreground color to white, and then I'm going to paint the eyes. Let me zoom it in just a bit. And I'm going to reduce the opacity to 75. Now let me show you how I color graded this photo. So I started with the LUT and the EK look from my vintage 2.0 LUT pack. I'll put it in the description, you can check it out. This is a LUT at 100%. I reduced the opacity to 5%. I added another adjustment. I went to adjustments and then selective color. So I added the selective color, the reds 10%, the yellows at -35%. And then I added a curve adjustment. Go to adjustments and then curve. And then I made the S curve. I just made a point in the middle and then another point here. And then I dragged the middle part just a little bit up, and then the shadow part just a little bit down. And then the next thing that I added, I went to adjustments and then color balance here, and then tones, and then the mids +2, yellow blue -2, and then I went to shadows, the yellows to +2, and then the highlights, the yellows to +4, and then I added another selective color. Go to adjustments and then selective color. So this one, I just went to the whites and then I dragged the white a little bit down to -50. These are the adjustments that I did for color grading. So let's just see the photo now with everything that we've done. Let me enable the dodge and burn. Then let me just reduce the opacity of the dodge to 20, and then I reduce the opacity of the burn to 20 as well. So this was my final image, and then I sharpened the image. Alt Control Alt Shift E, and then first change the blending option to linear light, and then go to filters and then select others and then select IPass. The radius, drag it to 0.1 and then start pushing it up start pushing it up. So I don't want it to be too sharp, so I think I'll go with 0.5. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think this is fine. So yeah, this is how I got this photo. So we're done. I'll put the photo in the description. You can download it and try to edit it and tag me, you know. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. It's free of charge. So see you in the next one. Peace out.